This is Three Dog.
How can I help?
This is VGS, the only show where you can sit back, relax, and enter the world of video games. VGS. Introducing your intrepid host, the brutally honest David Spargella.
As you of all people should know, there's plenty wrong with me.
And the mind and beard behind all things, Andy Borkowski.
I am a biotic god. Fear me, lesser creatures.
Listen, contribute, and have your say. VGS.
We should probably get going on the show, because we're going to run out of time if we don't.
Begins now.
It's a sad day here, Dave.
Oh, no. What
For
happened?
the people that enjoy our program.
Oh, no. This is it. This is the final show.
It's not. It's not. I know you're excited for a second. Of course, VGS Talk Radio AM 640. Andy Borkowski, the host of everything. Dave, the guy who presses the buttons. Yes, yes, yes. I need to get to the main business here, though.
Uh-oh.
Most of our audience that are rushing home to catch Game of Thrones.
Hold on.
We lost them all.
It's over.
It's the season's done, so no one is interested in listening anymore. If I did happen to grab you and you're wondering, hey, what's this? A video game show on 640. What? Hold on.
Change the channel.
What? No, don't
do
We're not
that.
supposed to say that.
Don't do that. We'll tell you why.
Exactly. This is a show where we deal with, and if you've heard me say this for 18 weeks in a row, I do apologize, where we deal with the latest and greatest news in the world of gaming. We try to add a little bit of journalistic flair and fun and humor and love and happiness and other adjectives. Dave, you're shaking your head.
Love is like a verb, isn't it?
Well, love is an act. That's actually very profound of you. Love is an action.
Sure.
All right, but it is about video games, and if you do happen to be listening and you think, man, I really want to hear more of this, which, hold on, people say that.
Sorry, it's just funny.
It happens, all right. Head to our website, 640toronto.com/VGS, and you can subscribe to the weekly podcast, get all of our up-to-date news and information, and I've spoken to a lot of people. That's how they've found us. They've looked online and were looking for a video game podcast and found us this way. There's one piece of business, though. I do have to say thank you to one person that is actually a big comic book lady. Her name is K8 Kawasaki, I think, something close to that, on Twitter. And she gave us a call out, and she said she's an avid listener, loves everyone on the show, even the interns. So that's really nice of her.
I thought you were going to say even me.
No, she didn't mention you at all, so she probably really likes you.
That's a shame.
What are we talking about this week?
Everything, man. Easter eggs and video games.
Who wants toast?
We got...
Because there's a huge story, right?
Yeah, huge. I can't believe it. It's
Yeah.
been 2 years, and it's still an amazing, like one of the best games I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
Big interview I did with...
Hold on, what?
Oh, yeah, I did an interview.
You
It's
didn't-
my turn now.
You spoke to another human.
I did, yeah, besides you. Can you believe it?
No.
And my brother.
So you have our feature interview this week.
I do, yeah. I spoke to, if you're an Iron Maiden fan or a music fan in general, guess what? Iron Maiden, they made a game.
Yeah, I was surprised at this too.
Yeah, you thought...
On my worksheet of when we're doing our show prep, I said, okay, Dave, so you have your feature this week. It's your interview with AC/DC.
Yep.
So that's not... But if you're an Iron Maiden fan, then yeah, this is exciting.
It's an exciting game. It's an RPG game. It comes out on your phone, so you can pick it up on the App Store and what's the Google Play? That's
Yes.
Google Play.
Yeah, I say it so many times.
Yeah. So it's exciting. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, we have Matt Wiggins, Roadhouse Interactive.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden, Legacy of the Beast.
Legacy.
That's pretty cool, though, that they made an RPG. And it seems like this is such your wheelhouse because RPGs that are fun, we both love those. Mm-hmm. Games that are on your phone, you're obsessed with tapping crap on your phone.
Simpsons tapped out.
Yes, indeed. And Iron Maiden, you have several shirts of that variety.
I think I have 8. I'm pretty sure I have 8.
That's many.
Yes.
All right.
It is.
All right, let's talk about what's happening this week.
Oh, what's happening in the gaming world?
Yeah.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Tom Jones back again to tell us what is coming out in the next 7 days, Sunday to Sunday, in the world. Let's hear a little bit more. What a beautiful voice.
Such a great voice.
He was taken from us far too soon.
He's not dead. We discussed this.
Okay, so the big game that's coming out, most of these are next Tuesday release of July 5th. Oh, still there. Fury is a game for the PS4 and PC. We didn't really know a lot of these game releases, but it's kind of cool because when we go into one of these features and we already know the big games, then we focus on those. But in a feature like this, we're not really aware of the hidden gems, and we found some that look pretty interesting. I think Fury is perhaps the most interesting. It's coming out on the PS4 and PC. It's a really weird indie game, isometric puzzle-based, kind of meets Afro Samurai. So basically, it's over-the-head gameplay that then goes into a really close, fast-paced, really beautiful kind of swordsmanship thing. It's hard to describe. Check it out. Fury is coming out soon. What's up next?
Hawken. It looks pretty cool. I've never heard of it before until I saw it today. It looks pretty cool. It's in my area. It's a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
It's originally out for the PC. Comes out for the Xbox One and the PS4. Basically, you're just this robot that shoots the hell out of everything, and I'm so down for that.
I saw some footage. It looks pretty frenetic and fun and blasty and explodey.
Yes.
When's it coming out?
It comes out on the 8th, I believe.
The 8th,
Yeah.
okay. So there's one other game. This is a new part of this feature that we added. There's so many games that come out each week. We can't say every single one, but we're trying to find some of the weird ones, the odd ones, and just not do any prep and just look it up right now. So one of the games we've chosen is called Nurse Love Addiction.
Do you have your pop-up blocker?
Well, yeah, if you type that into Google, get ready because you'll see some stuff that you should not be looking up into Google at a work computer, but we're going to try anyway.
Parental discretion is
Nurse
advised.
Love Addiction. Yes, I will put in my age because that's pretty important.
14?
So, no, don't do that because we won't be able to read this. So Nurse Love Addiction, it is a game about Asuka Osachi. She's a ditzy girl training to become a nurse at the Tieto Nursing School. Experience the story of her and her classmates as they discover love, medicine, and adulthood.
Oh.
It's a bracing story with multiple endings depending on your choice. Everyone dies because you're a bad nurse. It looks insane. It looks really crazy. If you want some insane, weird Japanese exemplars of the divergent cultures we have, take a look at Nurse Love Addiction. We're running late, though. We got so much to talk about.
Yeah, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, we got
take a
News of the
break.
Week after this. We have, of course,
My interview.
AC/DC coming up.
Iron Maiden.
AC/DC coming up. Live on the program, we have AC/DC, the Andy Burkowski VGS.
Hey, this is Stephen Ogg. I play Trevor Phillips in GTA. Just wanted to tell you that VGS, oh, it's good in my world, baby.
This is just insanity.
I love it.
I don't know why they let us on the radio. It doesn't make any sense.
What is this?
Well, I'm Andy Burkowski.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this you singing?
This is not me. This is my infant years. No, this is a song, of course, VGS Talk Radio AM 640, from GTA 4 in the Ballad of Gay Tony. Yes, it was a DLC named Gay Tony. Send your letters, please, to VGS at 640charm.com.
Or Scott, yes.
Or Scott C. Guest at...
Of course.
Words. So this was a very iconic and addictive piece of music from the GTA franchise, played underneath one of the feature interviews that we did with good old Stephen Ogg, the voice of the character Trevor. I can't believe we got that interview. This was years ago, too.
A long time ago.
Yeah, years and years ago. But the reason we're talking about that is this week in News of the Week, which we'll have in a few moments, it has been a huge, just gangbuster day for GTA 5. GTA 5, not Fav. 5, yes.
5.
Huge news, huge, massive news. So much so that it's propelled us to spend an inordinate amount of time talking about everything in the GTA franchise. David Spargala, take it away.
This week in gaming.
I've got to do the news! Give me a keg of beer.
Golden Peyote exists in GTA 5, and up until this week, nobody knew why it existed. A group called the Code Walkers painstakingly followed each hint that Rockstar left behind, allowing the players to become Bigfoot and hunt another beast. Killing this beast unlocked the ability to play as Michael J. Fox's Teen Wolf. This Easter egg, years in the making, has finally come to a close. NeoGAF has discovered a leak of an upcoming BioShock collection, but the release date has yet to be announced. That can be pretty much confirmed with the new BioShock-based Twitter account that 2K has registered. It's so much better down where it's wetter, so we can only hope for news to come soon. The Batman Return to Arkham collection won't make its previously announced July 26 release date, according to WB Games. Further tweaking is needed to get the games polished enough to satisfaction to get them sent out the door. However, currently there is no updated release date. Please let it happen soon. Overwatch fever has taken over South Korea, overthrowing League of Legends for 1 week. League of Legends held the spot for 204 weeks, which is something to the tune of 4 years, which is an impressive feat. StarCraft 2 never did this, but Blizzard finally succeeded.
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here!
Thanks again, Dave, for that news of the week. Very exciting stuff. Sorry to hear that, that game collection you were looking forward to is getting pushed back a little bit.
I think it's a good idea. I was looking at the trailer for it, and it just didn't look good. The original looks better.
A little bit. So hopefully they do get that in order, of course.
Get it right.
Get it right. We decided, though, since they had that killer piece of information from Grand Theft Auto 5, that you can become skin Michael J. Fox and wear his Teen Wolf. Nah, you're not like him today as an advocate for Parkinson's. No. You get to do that in this game, and it was something that was years in the making. Years. Unreal. And people, I was reading a little bit more about it. You heard a bit of it in News of the Week, but basically they had a group of people that would check every line of code when a new update came and somehow figured out that you become a Sasquatch, go to these random bodies, and like we heard in the news, it ends with a boss fight against Michael J. Fox.
Against Michael as Teen Wolf.
As Teen Wolf. So crazy, crazy cool. And it made us thinking about Easter eggs in general. It's something that I think is very individual to this medium, video games. There's not a lot of interactive Easter eggs in mediums that aren't interactive. Movies, books. There are some references, which are great, but it's hard to get real Easter eggs. And we decided the best place to start when we're looking at Easter eggs, our opinions on them, what we think, what we believe. We start with Grand Theft Auto 5, a game so vast, has so many different avenues for gameplay. There was one little Easter egg when I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 that really just made me laugh. I was playing as Franklin, and I looked on the floor of my bedroom, a huge record playing this music.
I told you, brother, it's OG Loke in the place. I become the decider, all-nighter, all-righter.
So hold on, let's listen to this.
It's OG Loke, that's me. OG Loke, baby.
It's so good. I'm sorry. I need to enjoy it for a second.
I got 10
There's
seconds.
one line. So, yeah, he's like Moses, but he's keeping it real. That is the character, OG Loke, all the way from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. You remember that game?
Yeah, man. PS2.
PS2 days. So they took that character that was one of the characters you play with in that particular video game, and apparently he hit it big. He became a big movie star, or rather a music star. So awesome to have that little Easter egg. You had one that was a little more dubious, right?
Yeah, you discovered it early. I mean, they did all kinds. When the game came out, there was all kinds of YouTube videos. Oh, I found this, found that. And one that I thought was pretty cool was it's an amazing TV show and an amazing character who won an Emmy for this TV show.
Yeah.
And his name is Jesse Pinkman.
Yo, 148, 3 to the 3 to the 6 to the 9, representing the ABQ. What up, biatch? Leave it at the tone.
So
Jesse Pinkman.
So that was in the game?
No, that was the clip from Breaking Bad. In the game,
Aaron Paul, the actor.
Flying. Yeah, Aaron Paul, the actor. You're flying you can fly in a helicopter or a plane, and it's one of the northern mountains in the game. Mm-hmm. You're just flying around, and on the mountain is a photo, or just like, I guess
it looks like a photo. It looks like an imprint or something.
I guess an imprint of Aaron Paul's face. which is amazing because
Yeah.
it's just there. You're just when you're flying around in Grand Theft Auto, like there's so much open space, so you're just looking
You
at
don't
nothing,
focus,
and
yeah.
it's incredible to just find a random thing like that.
That is one of the purest Easter eggs I think that they have in this game, in any game. You know, it's something that's so unique and individual and references something completely out of this world. We're going to talk about it next segment about whether or not like cameos or past references are really Easter eggs. Our Video Game Sophistry YouTube channel, I get hundreds of comments every day like, oh, this isn't an Easter egg. So people have a very clear dividing line on this. One of the final ones for Grand Theft Auto, though, that I think really shows that they're a level above is in the collector's edition. If you buy the physical collector's edition, you get with games a whole lot of extra toys and trinkets and things like this.
This would be for the original Xbox 360 and PS3 version.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. You get something that's pretty special. Why don't you take it from there?
It is, you get a map of the game.
Yes.
And it comes with the collector's edition. Now, is it glow in the dark or is it?
Basically what happens, because it is a little confusing. I don't know how someone figured this out. I feel like they were doing some little hijinks, something a little bit naughty, and then figured out, oh wait, there's some secret message here. If you take this normal cloth map and you expose it to a black light.
Okay.
It'll show you hidden messages with hidden map markers, hidden places where UFOs are, and in the actual game there are UFOs in those areas.
Pieces, right?
Yeah. And it leads you to where the Sasquatch is. This is not in the game, remind you.
No.
This is a piece of extraneous art that you
physical.
get. It's a physical. So this is really, I think it shows that Grand Theft Auto deserves a round of applause.
They do, definitely.
Absolutely.
I mean, well done, guys. We're still finding stuff to this day.
And so they're finding is a boss fight.
I know. I can't believe it.
It's crazy. So
Insanity.
Incredible title. Coming up next, though, those are as much praise as we could possibly give for Grand Theft Auto right now. We're going to get into the lore of a game that everyone is playing. We have some of the interns. They're in the back. We've been whipping them with kindness.
Yep.
And they're going to go over Overwatch and explain why you should care about these characters. Millions of people are playing this game. Let's find out what it's all about after this.
You're listening to VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Back here on our favorite video game show, your host Andy Burkowski, man who presses the buttons, David Spargala, and a couple of interns that we found off the streets. We have Thomas, the intern, and his brother, Rich, the intern.
No relation.
They're really nice brothers, and they're here today to talk about Overwatch. The game that you heard in News of the Week has millions of players. It is now becoming one of the most played games in communities and cultures that consider games religion across the pond and across that pond in Asia. And the interns are going to tell us a little bit more about the lore associated with this game that you need to look through comic books and all these other things to figure out.
Bonus round!
In the not-so-distant future, humankind creates Omnics, robots with powerful AIs that will help bolster the world economy to heights never before seen. 30 years from now, those Omnics will be taken over by God programs, AI so powerful that they can take over any robot within a certain range of them. This leads to a robot uprising, known as the Omnic Crisis. In order to wage war on the Omnics, who were relentlessly destroying conventional armies, the world formed a coalition of the greatest soldiers, scholars, and scientists. This coalition is known as Overwatch. Overwatch has 6 original members: Jack Morrison, Gabriel Reyes, Torbjorn Lindholm, Reinhard Wilhelm, Anna Amari, and Liao. Under their guidance, especially that of Morrison, they managed to quarantine the God programs and bring the Omnic Crisis to an end. After the crisis is over, a sect of Omnics creates the Shambali, a spiritual group. The Shambali believe that Omnics possess souls and want to create harmony between Omnics and humans. The Shambali are led by Takarta Mondata, and they've become a symbol of peace and prosperity, much like Overwatch. For years after the crisis, Overwatch kept to its namesake and did just that: watch over the world, keeping its people safe. Eventually, a Black Ops division of Overwatch named Blackwatch was founded and headed up by Reyes. Many of Blackwatch's ops were controversial: assassinations, toppling of governments, and other heinous crimes. When information on certain ops were leaked, the dispersion of Overwatch as a whole was called for, and the Petrus Act, a document stating that any Overwatch-related activity was illegal, was signed. Before the official dispersion of Overwatch as a whole, the two groups, Overwatch and Blackwatch, had a firefight in their headquarters in Switzerland, which ended in a massive explosion, which was believed to have killed Jack Morrison and Gabriel Reyes. 30 years after the explosion, Winston, one of the most beloved heroes from the heyday of Overwatch, activates a recall, due to increasing tension around the globe and what seems to be the start of a second Omnic crisis. The new Omnic crisis is being instigated by the actions of a terrorist organization that was rampant during Overwatch's days, the Talon Company. Talon's most deplorable act to date was to use its elite agent Widowmaker to assassinate Takarda Mondada, instigating an uprising and the potential beginnings of the second Omnic crisis. Talon now seems to be in league with a ghostly assassin calling himself Reaper, whose identity is none other than Gabriel Reyes, the former leader of Blackwatch.
Die, die, die.
Many heroes of Overwatch, and some new faces, are now doing their part to try and douse the fire spread by Talon.
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here!
One of those heroes being the vigilante, Soldier 76, the codename of Jack Morrison, the former leader of Overwatch, and one of Earth's greatest heroes.
I've got you in my sights.
That is the story behind Overwatch. And although little to none of this is available in-game, all of this is lore released by Blizzard through multiple mediums: comics, animated shorts, even fictional blog posts and news reports. Overwatch's lore is deep and in some regards a masterwork of storytelling, if you're willing to dig a little for it. I'm Thomas Hyde, and with the help of Richard Jellison, this was Bonus Round.
You're listening to VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Back here again. Big thanks to the interns, Tom and Rich, for compiling that, I want to say, the Coles notes for Overwatch.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tracer's notes.
I love that because I look at you like you're going to say something like big and profound, and you always just yell, sure. It's so funny.
Absolutely.
Okay,
correct.
Yeah, maybe add those.
Affirmative.
You sound very much like a robot.
I know.
He's a yes man.
to...
He's a yes man.
You ruined my segue.
He's an Omnic.
I'm Daniel Bryan.
Tom.
Yes.
So we got to hear from you last segment all about the lore behind Overwatch. How did you find out a lot of the this insider info? Do you work for Blizzard? Is that why you're here?
I can't. I have an NDA. I actually can't talk about that.
No, that's not true.
No, I don't work for Blizzard. I was massively hyped for Overwatch even before it came out. I was following it for just about as long as it was even known.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would check the Blizzard page every now and again. I was on Overwatch's Reddit, and yeah, I don't know. It just.
But how did you find the whole point of this? This is the information.
It's all on Blizzard's website.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's playoverwatch.com, something like that. You can find all the comics. You can find all the fake blog and news posts, the animated shorts. It's all up on playoverwatch.com.
So they created some real viral networks.
Yeah.
Associated
definitely.
with this. Yeah.
And they have a graphic novel that's coming out later this year as
and
well. A full graphic novel.
Very, very exciting. But it's weird that the actual game doesn't really include any of this.
It is a little weird.
Because for those that haven't played, the three people that haven't played, it's essentially just a battle arena with these diverse characters that seem like they have big story arcs and interesting things like that. I wanted to ask you, what is the background of one of your favorite characters that we couldn't get to in your feature? Tell me a little bit about a character that you think has the most interesting background.
I'll talk about Hanzo and Genji. They're two characters, but it's tied together.
Mm-hmm.
They're brothers from a Yakuza clan.
Oh, like you and Rich.
Yeah, like me and Rich. And essentially what happens is for a long time they rule over their kind of district together, and then Hanzo gets a little overzealous and he decides to try and take out Genji.
What?
I know, right? So he can rule over their district on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And what he ends up doing is he kills Genji, or so he thinks. And for a long time after that, he realizes that it doesn't mean anything unless he's doing it with his brother. So he becomes distraught and an outlaw from his clan. His brother gets turned into a cyborg by Mercy. the healer of the group, and eventually confronts Hanzo, and Hanzo's entire life gets turned upside down when he realizes that his brother's actually alive.
So that's amazing. All this extra stuff that is not in the core game that you can find online. Thank you again, guys. Sorry we can have a little more with you. But David, unfortunately, needs to spend a lot of time talking about something else.
Something very important than Overwatch. Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast, boys. It is an app game coming out for Android and Google Play. Or no, Android, Google, what's it, Google Plus?
No, it's Google Play. You had it right.
Google Play and the and iTunes. No, it's the App Store.
This was great.
I know what it was.
You should
App
do
Store,
interviews more often.
App
This
Store.
is great.
And the iTunes.
It's going to be cool, though. I can't wait. He's coming up next. You're speaking with the guys, right?
Yeah,
Up
of
next.
course. Matt Wiggins of, Roadhouse Interactive. It's coming up next. This is VGS on Talk Radio, AM 640.
You're listening to VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
What do you get when you mix Iron Maiden and video games? Answer, a very happy David Spargala. Now, it's no question that Iron Maiden are one of the most iconic and influential bands of all time. They've accomplished so much throughout their 40-year career and are still looking to do so much more. They recently released their own Beard Trooper, they're on tour promoting their new album, The Book of Souls, and they have a new game coming out soon called The Legacy of the Beast. It's been a while since we've seen a game from Maiden. If you remember, back in 1999, they released Ed Hunter, which was a greatest hits album and a game where you followed their mascot Eddie around the city. We don't know much about their new game, Legacy of the Beast, so joining us today on VGS is Matt Wiggins, the producer from Roadhouse Games, to talk all things Maiden. Welcome to the show, Matt, and thanks for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess my first question is, what is this game all about?
Okay, well, we are making a role-playing game for mobile devices. The general gist of it is that you play Eddie himself, and he, at the beginning of the game, is shattered by a mysterious force. His soul is broken into many pieces, and they are scattered throughout time and space. And you play the role of Eddie, traveling through time and space to recollect the different pieces of his soul. Each one of those pieces of his soul represent a different form of Eddie from the various album covers and pieces of art and so on throughout Maiden's history. And so you'll be able to take on the role of all the iconic Eddies that you've seen throughout the band's many years of work. And each of them will have different unique powers and skills that will allow you to progress through and find out what the mysterious force was that shattered Eddie's soul and led him on this adventure.
Well, there's so many Eddies. There's got to be almost, 100, including all the singles? How do you choose?
Well, we started by picking a few that we thought were especially iconic. I can think of like the Pharaoh Eddie from Power Slave is in the game. We've got the Pilot Eddie from Aces High. We have the Holy Smoke Eddie is the one that you start off as. And because there are so many different forms of Eddie available to us, we have the ability to continue to add new versions of Eddie to the game over time to increase the different options that players have to play with.
Are there any from the new album, Book of Souls?
I don't believe we put the Speed of Light Eddie in quite yet.
Okay.
But he's on our list of Eddies to add quite quickly. So he will be entering the game hopefully fairly soon after launch.
I think I read that you guys had a recently closed beta. How did that go?
We did, and it went very well. The user response that we had was extremely positive, people giving us lots of good feedback and positive reviews, and it has allowed us to dig into a couple of things with the game that we want to make even better for when the game finally comes out.
Okay, and it's an RPG, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Why did you guys decide to go the RPG route?
Well, we felt that Maiden as a band had this long history and lore and like theatricality and imagery in all of their music and their history, which lent itself really well to this epic story and, you know, the adventure across many different worlds and traveling through time and space and all these different sort of like sci-fi fantasy elements that play really like that lend themselves really well to an RPG style game. And we wanted to give fans a game that they would be able to dig their teeth into and really play for a long period of time and bring those worlds of Iron Maiden to life. And we felt that the RPG genre would best allow us to do that.
Okay, so Eddie's soul is broken up into pieces. Now, is it every time you collect a piece of Eddie's soul, he gets stronger? How does that work?
Sort of, yeah. So as you collect, essentially, there are different sort of sizes of soul. Some elements of the soul can be used to unlock new characters. Some of them will grant you Eddies, and some of them will allow you to power up your skills and abilities and make the characters that you have more powerful.
Okay, now when did the idea of this come up? Did Maiden just come up to you guys and say, hey, we're looking to make an app or a game, and can you help us?
Well, that's actually, it's a long story.
Okay.
The game has been in development now for about a year and a half, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And at the outset of the project, or like before the project was even begun, it came to us that Maiden had sort of rejected a bunch of pitches to do games, and that they were not really interested in doing another game after Ed Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
And they just through the grapevine, through some professional connections of the CEO of our company, it turned out that we had a line on being able to pitch a new Iron Maiden game. And it turns out that the CEO of our company is an Iron Maiden super fan. When he got the opportunity to do this, he's like, well, that's a pitch we're going to have to do. And so he took the idea of the game to the band, and based on the sort of the repertoire of games that we have here at the studio, combined with his passion for the Iron Maiden brand, he was able to sort of bring across the point that if Iron Maiden went with Roadhouse and decided to make a game with us, that they would be in good hands, that they were at the helm, would be someone who not just knew the brand, but cherished it and would want to make sure that we created a product they would be proud of.
Absolutely. And I saw a couple of weeks ago that they actually visited the studios. I could imagine that Nico would be the one that'd be most overwhelmed with all this stuff. How involved are they when it comes to this?
Well, we've been dealing with the band and their management over the course of the project, and back and forth, making sure that we're doing things right and making a game that accurately reflects what they want to see. And when they came to visit the studio, that was actually quite an experience. They were all super turned on and engaged, really excited to come in and see what we've been working on. So we got to take them around the team area and show what like the different artists and animators and programmers are working on, and answer their questions and that kind of thing. And they had some pretty good questions.
And the one I heard that Steve Harris is really involved in this too. You guys got a lot of live songs that are previously unreleased,
yes,
including those games. What can you tell me about that?
Well, we've spent a lot of time trying to make sure that the music in the game is not just great, but like a selling point, right? Like we want people to, and it's free, so it's extra value. But we want to make sure that players who download this game are getting absolutely the best audio experience that they can, and getting the music that they're familiar with, but in a new way. And in line with that, we actually managed to get our hands on unreleased live recordings of a fairly significant amount of the band's catalog, in working with Steve and with the production team for the band. And so they've been doing mastering and mixing for us to make sure that we get top quality recordings. And we've then been taking those and including them in the game. And as live tracks, sometimes there'll be slightly different tempos from the album tracks and so on. They bring a different energy to the game. Mm-hmm. And so it actually, it makes the game pretty exciting.
Now, with the game being almost completed, what sort of challenges did you guys face while making this game? I know you said the beta went well, but there must have been some things that you didn't like and you wanted to take out. What can you tell me about that?
Well, with any game, naturally, there are challenges along the way. One of the big ones for us wasn't actually anything that we had to take out, so much as it was just like we spent a lot of time working on the gameplay for this game.
Okay.
And making sure that the combat in the game feels really good and plays well and has a lot of flash and oomph to it. I'm sort of throwing out buzzwords there, but
it makes sense.
We really wanted to make sure that the gameplay in the game would resonate with people and would be fun to play. And like, we didn't want to just sort of, oh, it's a big brand, we're just going to cash in. We wanted to make sure that we had something that was really special and that we loved to play, so that we knew other people would love to play it too. And so we spent longer than is typical for a mobile game around the studio, just cycling on getting the gameplay working right and trying different like animations and different attack systems and getting the feel of it just right. And I think we've done a pretty good job.
Now, before I let you go, Matt, speaking of that release date, where and when can people pick up this game?
We are targeting a release date in early June. I can't be more specific than that at the moment. We haven't nailed down a specific date, but we're working hard. You can see the team is still over there plugging away. We hope to be out early in June of this year. And it will be available on Android and iOS devices, so you'll be able to get it from the Google Play or Apple app stores.
Are there any plans releasing it beyond Android and iOS, or is that too early to tell?
It's too early to tell at this point. I certainly wouldn't say, never. There are certainly things we're exploring beyond just those two platforms, but as it stands right now, those are our core focus.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to control Eddie. The cyborg Eddie's always been my favorite type of Eddie. But anyway, Matt, thank you again for joining us this evening on VGS.
Great. Thank you very much.
That's Matt Wiggins, the producer on Iron Maiden's new game, The Legacy of the Beast. Now we have to take a quick break right now, but we'll be back in a few. Stay tuned. You're listening to VGS on Talk Radio AM 640.
This is VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Well, David, I cannot believe that you grabbed the mantle for 1 week to do an interview.
Wasn't it good?
It was really good. Hey,
thank you.
I gotta say, a polite clap.
Okay.
If anyone that can hear.
Yes, thank you, Matt Wiggins from Roadhouse. I can't wait for it. I'm so excited
wait for it. I need to do one correction. The individual that listens to our show each week that I incorrectly named is K8 Katawaki, at Kate Dangerous on Twitter. If you're listening right now, the shout out promised is there. Big thanks to the interns for teaching us about Overwatch. I had no idea.
It's insane.
It's cool to actually know what these characters are, and for Rockstar for creating Grand Theft Auto, and of course Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. God love him.
Yeah, we should end every show thanking Michael J. Fox.
Yes. Also, I want to give a big shout out to 16 years ago on Thursday.
Yes.
We had Marvel vs. Capcom 2 come out. 20 years.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 3, 20 years.
Okay.
And Diablo 2, 20 years.
Diablo 2.
Can't believe it. I feel like I'm 100 years old.
Yeah. We are quite old.
Yeah.
Make sure you check us out online. VGS.
We're that old, we have to go and go to bed.
We have to go to bed right now. No, check us out online. If you are listening to the show and you're like, I just missed it, I want to hear more, 640tron.com/VGS. Subscribe to the podcast. You can get it every week. It goes right to your phone. You don't have to worry about this old fangled radio. I'm Andy Burkowski.
And I'm Shaggy Dave.
This is VGS.
Without doubt, the worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.